Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where I'm going to be doing a reaction and review to Yabai t-shirts Yasan's March 2020 song, something kanji music. I don't know what that kanji is, sorry. As always, this is the review video. If you want to see the reaction I've just done before recording this review, then feel free to pause this one. Click the little link in the description below, which will open up a separate YouTube player where you can watch the reaction should you need to see how I reacted upon first hearing the song, or in case you haven't heard the song yourself and want to listen to it. Now, I'm about to give you the review, so have you seen the reaction? Do you need to see the reaction? Are you ready for the review? Here it comes. Don't say I didn't warn you. Okay, review time. This was interesting. It started off heavy, which was not what I expected from the happy, fluffy band that I'd seen in the two videos of theirs I've checked thus far, and stuff I've heard in between, just by proxy of being in Japan. And their whole image as well was very bright, and so when it started I was like, wow, this is going in a heavy direction. And then obviously you kind of saw that was as a contrast to the very happy sort of rock punk, very jolly punk chorus. But that worked really well. Actually, that contrast reminded me a lot of some of the stuff that Otsuka used to do, especially on her second album. She did a lot of stuff like this. Most notably was the song Happy Days, which starts off like really sort of very heavy sort of punk riff, but again like this simple sort of punk riff, not a particularly complex one, just one that is, you know, impactful enough to be heavy in a kind of simple punchy way, and you know, sort of really thumping beat, and then, you know, sort of over time you get to the chorus, and the chorus is actually very happy and jolly, as a song called Happy Days would imply. And this certainly went in that direction as well, as we got like choruses singing about shampoo and love you and all this kind of stuff. I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic contrast. I really liked the way that worked. The song is I have to go back and listen to other stuff to do a proper comparison, but I think compared to other stuff, this is a much simpler song in a lot of ways. It certainly feels that. It went for a lot of simple writing techniques. Like I say, the riff that they use is very effective, but very sort of simple. Kind of like one of those riffs that if you're a rock guitarist, you probably know it's one of those riffs that you just pick up, and if you were just jamming, you would just make up that riff. You know, it's a simple one. But that's not always a bad thing. I often say the 4 chords used for the Smells Like Teen Spirit riff are 4 chords that a lot of people, power chords, you usually jump to. They're just kind of natural chords that sit together, but you have to have the knowledge to play them in that way to that kind of song, with that beat coming in at the right time to have the impact that Smells Like Teen Spirit had. And obviously cultural relevance is important as well. But yeah, just in this instance, simple riff but works perfectly. And just the way it breaks into that chorus is beautiful, because the song doesn't lose any of its rock edge when it does that. The guitars are just as powerful, the drums are just as heavy, but suddenly we go to slightly more of a major chord sound and sort of a more happy, upbeat vocal, and the lyrics turn, and the video turns nicely as well to represent that. The video actually does a really good trick of balancing out, matching the music, and that, like I say, that does the same thing, in that the energy, the style, nothing about it changes when you go into the chorus. It just changes in the way it's delivered. Like suddenly you see the faces, you see the smiles on the faces, you see the flashing lights slightly give way to a little bit more of, you know, weird soap effects and things like that. I liked that. In a lot of ways, the video and the song matched really well on that. They both sort of kept the rock energy throughout, didn't sort of try to overly contrast it. And that is why the song works, is because it manages to pull off that difference between being heavy and being really overly joyed and happy without changing anything more than just the subtleties of how it's written and how it's delivered in the lyrics. So I like that. I thought it was nice. It meant that you got the contrast without losing the sort of fun, you know, the sort of the exciting rock song that you'd been promised from the first few notes. That wasn't taken away from you. It was just sort of twisted into a different form. So for me, that was really well done. The bridge was simple. It was just your kind of sort of normal chanting, building up, tom drums, I think, sort of beat thing going in there. So bridge, kind of like most of this song, was more functional rather than particularly clever. It was just right notes in the right place, matches the feeling, just does things the right way. So for me, this was a song which was simple, powerful, effective, and really nailed the subtleties of making itself sound unique, of getting the most out of the band whilst also nailing a sound that, from the now 3 songs I've heard by them, I don't think is their normal sound. Seems more outside of their normal sound than what I would perhaps have been led to believe previously. So yeah, it's just a good, effective example of writing a heavy rock song with a fun, poppy, infectious chorus. Can't say fairer than that. So, as always, we're honest on this channel. We have to give the positive and negative. I would say that although I would be happy to listen to this again, I do enjoy it. I think that it may be, although it very effectively pulls off that switch and is wonderful in the way that it manages to be two contrasting things at the same time without losing any energy, as I say. I would say, unfortunately, it doesn't feel like it does anything quite. There's no so unique moments in it that would make it particularly memorable. The chorus is not quite. It's catchy, but it's not catchy enough to be super memorable. I fear that, unfortunately, for all the subtle cleverness of this song, it may be lost to the winds of time by the fact that it just isn't quite catchy or memorable enough. But I think that if you are either a Yabai T-shirts Yasan fan who wants to listen to their discography, this is going to be one of those songs where I'm sure it would be a real enjoyable listen every time. If you're just someone who's predisposed to listening to them, I think this is a really fantastic addition to the soundtrack. And if you're someone who just randomly flicks through Japanese music and maybe you forget about this song and then it comes back up a few months later, I think this is one of those ones where you probably forget about it and then it'll just come up on a playlist a few months later and you go, why did I stop listening to that? This song's awesome. I think it's going to be one of those ones. So yeah, it doesn't have any of the ultra catchy qualities, but it has a lot of quality. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the Yabai T-shirts Yasan trip, and for me this has added something. I mean, although I probably am more endeared to the band by their more unique sounding songs, this is kind of like it's called. This is still like a hard rock song, of which there are a lot of bands doing that kind of thing. This to me still manages to. It works by adding a little bit more colour to the portfolio. It's quite different from the two songs I heard before, so it adds a bit of range, shows a bit of difference. It also manages to step into, as a lot of bands fail to do, it steps into the hard rock thing without losing identity. I do remember when we heard recently that I really enjoyed Silent Siren's most recent album, but the song that I probably least liked was the one that they did, which was kind of like, you could tell that they were playing for listens because it was playing for that hard rock sound. They did it along with the singer Aimi from Poppin' Party, and all the groundwork looked really good, but when I listened to it I was like, somehow this has lost, it's like this is good but it's lost the thing that I enjoy so much about the other Silent Siren songs. This to me is a demonstration of, although this is a band I don't know as well, and I'm obviously not as much a follower of these guys as I am of Silent Siren, this to me has shown that they've managed to step into that sort of harder edge genre without losing their identity, which is very impressive. Like I said, it's very impressive to do that. So it's especially considering there's so many artists to follow if you were trying to benchmark someone else. So anyway, as always, those are my opinions. As someone who's worked with music my entire life but only has one person's opinion, and music and all art is about the respective opinions of everyone. It's subjective, although there are some objective facts. What really matters is what you think. So please get in the comments. Tell me what you think. What did you think of this song? Did you know it or before? Did you not know it? How do you think it contrasts to other songs? Obviously, just justify your opinions. The more you say, the more we can start a conversation about. Hopefully I'll be able to get in the comments and add a little bit of my thoughts as well, even if it's a little bit snake down the road. I do eventually try to get around. I read them all, even if I don't manage to reply to them all. A big thank you, as always, to anyone who likes and subscribes. That YouTube-y stuff for a non-monetized channel is really, really useful. YouTube doesn't share the non-monetized channels so much, so really appreciate it if you can give us a hand with that. And a massive thank you to anyone who follows our Patreon, because you guys literally are the lifeblood of this channel. The reason why I can record a review from a hotel while I'm away without huge fear that I'm going to be living in hotels forever, as I kind of was when we first started this channel a couple of years ago and then restarted it. So a big thank you to everyone for being so helpful with that. And of course, if you just want to get involved in the community, if you're not already, remember, there's also all of our social medias linked in the description below, so you can follow any of them if you want to talk to other people who enjoy music and Japanese music specifically as well. So until then, thank you so much for checking in and making it through to the end of this video, especially. I said especially a few times, but there's so many things I'm really appreciating you guys doing. So until I see you hopefully very soon in Japan for another one of these, for now, ciao ciao. So I have to ask, when I come up to the third floor, where my room is in this hotel, why does my hotel floor have a dentist? Yeah, there's a dentist just in this floor of the hotel. Legit, this is just a hotel. Can't explain everything, can you? Welcome to Japan.